Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever felt like your body is trying to tell you something, but you keep brushing it off as just part of aging? Maybe it's that frequent urge to urinate, even though nothing much happens, or the discomfort that lingers just enough to be noticeable, but not enough to make you act. That's how prostate inflammation creeps into your life, quietly, gradually, until it becomes a burden you can't ignore. Millions of men across the country experience this every day, often without realizing the cause. Prostate inflammation, or prostatitis, isn't just inconvenient. It can become a silent threat to your long-term well-being. And yet, the real danger isn't in the pain or discomfort. It's in doing nothing about it. That's where this journey begins. Today, I'll walk you through 3 simple yet powerful changes that can calm prostate inflammation fast, naturally and safely. These aren't miracle cures. They're practical shifts you can start applying today to reclaim your comfort and energy. But more than that, at the end of this video, I'll share a bonus strategy, one that most people overlook, yet it can drastically amplify your results when used the right way. So make sure you stay with me till the end. Your body will thank you for it. Now here's something crucial I need to say before we dive into the changes. When it comes to natural health strategies, precision matters. The way you prepare something, the time of day you take it, and even the amount can make all the difference. That's why missing a detail or skipping ahead can lead to ineffective results, or worse, unexpected side effects. This is your health we're talking about. Treat it with care. Here's a thought that might surprise you. Most men with early signs of prostate inflammation don't even know it. They may blame fatigue, disrupted sleep, or low libido on stress or age. But deep down, the prostate is already reacting. It's inflamed, trying to manage the stressors we place on it every day, whether it's from what we eat, how we move, or even how we manage emotions. Now imagine this. By the time symptoms are clear enough to interfere with your life, the inflammation has already taken hold. And if left unmanaged, chronic inflammation doesn't just stay put. It can set the stage for conditions far more serious. I'll get to that later. For now, just know this. Addressing prostate inflammation early isn't just about comfort. It could be one of the smartest long-term investments in your health. Let's talk about the numbers for a second. Studies show that prostate-related issues are one of the leading reasons men over 50 visit their doctor. And yet, most of those visits happen after the discomfort becomes too loud to ignore. What if we flipped that around? What if instead of reacting, we acted early with simple, effective, natural changes? That's what we're doing here today. Not alarm bells, just awareness, action, and real solutions. You see, the prostate is a small gland, but it plays a big role. It's involved in urinary flow, sexual function, and hormonal balance. When it's inflamed, everything from your sleep to your confidence can take a hit. And here's the kicker. Your daily habits could be fueling that inflammation without you realizing it. There's one food habit in particular that's more damaging than most people think, and I'll show you exactly what it is next. It's incredibly common in American households, and chances are it's on your plate at least a few times a week. Cutting it out or replacing it could be the first major step toward reducing that silent inflammation that's holding you back. And don't forget, the third change we'll cover later is perhaps the most powerful of them all, but it only works if you get the earlier steps right. Ignore it, and not only could your results be limited, but you might even worsen the issue unknowingly. Stay tuned. Let's go back to where we left off, your daily habits. Sometimes it's not what you're missing, but what you're regularly consuming that keeps inflammation simmering beneath the surface. And this brings us to our first major shift. There's one ingredient so embedded in the modern diet that most people barely notice it. It's in your frozen meals, your salad dressings, your favorite fast food items, even your so-called healthy snacks. I'm talking about industrial seed oils, specifically soybean, corn, canola, and sunflower oil. These oils are everywhere in the American food landscape, praised for being cheap and convenient. But there's a darker side. When consumed regularly, especially in the quantities the average person ingests, these oils contribute heavily to chronic inflammation, including in the prostate. Here's why. Industrial seed oils are high in omega-6 fatty acids. While we do need some omega-6 in our diets, The typical Western diet creates an extreme imbalance, way too much omega-6 and not nearly enough omega-3. This imbalance fuels the body's inflammatory processes. Now think about this happening day after day, year after year, inside a small gland that's already sensitive to hormonal and immune system changes. That's your prostate. You might be wondering, what's the solution? Do you have to give up all your favorite foods? Not necessarily, but it's time to start making smarter swaps. One of the best alternatives? Extra virgin olive oil. Unlike seed oils, olive oil is rich in polyphenols and healthy monounsaturated fats, which have been shown to reduce inflammation at a cellular level. Mediterranean cultures, which rely heavily on olive oil, tend to have significantly lower rates of prostate inflammation and related issues. That's not a coincidence. Now here's a simple yet powerful step you can take starting today. Swap out any cooking oil in your kitchen for cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil. Use it in salads, drizzle it over steamed vegetables, or even use it as a finishing oil for grilled meats. It's a small change, but one that can have a profound ripple effect over time. Also, begin scanning ingredient labels. If your favorite snack lists any of those seed oils in the top 3 ingredients, it might be time to reconsider. Look for options that use avocado oil, coconut oil, or, better yet, contain no added oils at all. This single habit, reading labels and choosing better fats, could dramatically lower the inflammatory load on your body, including your prostate. There's another piece of this puzzle you should know. Inflammation doesn't just come from food. It builds up from stress, poor sleep, and dehydration. And there's one common habit, particularly in the mornings, that's causing more harm than people realize. It's part of the daily routine of almost every American adult, and yet it often goes unchecked. This habit can stress your kidneys, dehydrate your body, and interfere with how your prostate functions. And while most people rely on it to feel alert and energized, the way they're using it might be doing the opposite in the long run. That's what we'll explore next. And trust me, you won't want to skip it. Because if this one habit is left unchecked, it could undo all the progress you're trying to make with the first step. Worse yet, it may even accelerate the very symptoms you're trying to avoid. So stay close. This next change could be one of the most important shifts you make for your prostate health. It's easy to overlook something that's part of your everyday routine, especially when it's something you believe is helping you stay alert, focused, and ready to face the day. But sometimes, what we count on to fuel us might actually be slowly draining our well-being. And when it comes to prostate health, there's one habit that stands out. Not because it's unusual, but because it's so incredibly common. Nearly 9 out of 10 American adults start their day with it. It's become a ritual, a source of comfort. For many, it's non-negotiable. I'm talking about coffee. More specifically, the habit of drinking coffee first thing in the morning, often on an empty stomach and almost always without hydrating the body first. Now, before you worry, this isn't about giving up coffee. It's about understanding how and when you consume it and what that means for your prostate and overall health. You see, coffee is a diuretic. That means it pulls water from your body, increasing urine output. For someone dealing with prostate inflammation, where urinary urgency and discomfort are already issues, this effect can worsen the situation. On top of that, when coffee is consumed without prior hydration, the body is pushed into a dehydrated state. Your bladder works harder, your kidneys are stressed, and your prostate? It's caught in the middle, trying to maintain balance under increased strain. Dehydration thickens your blood slightly, making circulation less efficient. And good circulation is essential for reducing inflammation and bringing nutrients to vital areas, including the prostate. So, what's the simple fix? Begin your day with water. Not just a sip, but a full glass, preferably filtered and room temperature. And for even more impact, add a pinch of natural salt like Himalayan pink salt, or squeeze in some fresh lemon juice. This helps your body absorb the water more effectively, replenishes electrolytes, and supports cellular hydration from the get-go. You can still have your coffee, just wait 30 to 45 minutes after hydrating. This slight delay not only protects your prostate and kidneys, but it also helps regulate your cortisol levels. Drinking coffee immediately upon waking spikes cortisol, the stress hormone, which can have cascading effects on inflammation and hormone balance. Giving your body time to stabilize before adding caffeine creates a much smoother physiological response. If you're someone who experiences interrupted sleep due to nighttime urination, this hydration strategy might also improve how your body manages fluids throughout the day, reducing the pressure on your bladder during the night. It's a small, intentional change that can lead to deeper rest and improved energy. And here's an additional tip. Try herbal teas in the morning a few times per week. Options like ginger tea, nettle leaf, or even chamomile can offer anti-inflammatory benefits without the dehydrating kick of caffeine. Variety not only supports your prostate, but it also nurtures your overall system. It's fascinating how something as routine as your morning beverage can play such a big role in how your body handles inflammation. But that's the power of mindful habits. When we become aware of how each action impacts the whole, we can start to create an environment inside our body that promotes healing rather than strain. The men who thrive well into their later years with fewer prostate issues often share a common trait. They've learned to listen to their body early and make micro-adjustments that add up. This is one of those adjustments, and like the change you made in your oils, this one is rooted in simplicity, not restriction. But there's more. What if there was a completely natural compound found in a food you already know that specifically targets prostate inflammation, supports cellular repair, and has even been linked to reduced risk of prostate complications when consumed correctly? That's what we're diving into next. And understanding how to unlock its full potential could make all the difference. Skipping this next step could mean you're only getting half the benefit of everything you've done so far. Worse, using it incorrectly might actually reduce its effectiveness or even irritate your system. So let's make sure we get it right. There's something powerful about nature's design. Some of the most effective health-supporting compounds don't come from labs or pharmacies. They come from the foods we often overlook or don't prepare properly. And when it comes to prostate inflammation, one natural compound stands out more than most: lycopene. You've probably heard that tomatoes are good for your health. That's true, but it's not the full story. Lycopene, the antioxidant compound that gives tomatoes their rich red color, has been shown to offer protective benefits specifically for the prostate. But here's what many people don't realize. Lycopene isn't easily absorbed by the body unless the tomato is prepared the right way. Raw tomatoes? They're fine. But if you want the anti-inflammatory cell-supporting power of lycopene, you need heat. Cooking tomatoes, especially with a healthy fat like extra virgin olive oil, dramatically increases the bioavailability of lycopene. This means your body can actually absorb and use it. In fact, studies have shown that men who regularly consume cooked tomato products, like homemade sauces or tomato-based stews, have significantly lower markers of prostate inflammation. It's not about eating more. It's about preparing it smarter. Here's a simple yet powerful recipe you can incorporate a few times a week. Start with ripe tomatoes, sautéed lightly in a bit of extra virgin olive oil. Add garlic, a pinch of sea salt, and fresh basil for flavor. Let it simmer gently for at least 20 minutes to allow the lycopene to activate. You can pour this over vegetables, whole grains, or lean proteins. It's nourishing, satisfying, and deeply beneficial to your prostate. Now, let's take it a step further. Combining lycopene-rich foods with other anti-inflammatory ingredients amplifies their effect. For instance, turmeric and black pepper, a combination used for centuries in traditional medicine, work synergistically to reduce systemic inflammation. Turmeric contains curcumin, another compound with proven anti-inflammatory properties. But like lycopene, it needs the right conditions: heat, fat, and a pinch of black pepper to help your body absorb it. So imagine this: a warm tomato-based sauce with a hint of turmeric, cracked black pepper, and olive oil. This isn't just delicious, it's therapeutic. It's worth noting that diets rich in processed foods often lack these essential combinations. Ultra-processed meals not only fail to provide lycopene and curcumin, but they also introduce synthetic additives and preservatives that may further irritate the prostate. That's why focusing on real, whole foods and preparing them properly isn't just a trend. It's a foundation for healing. When you create meals with intention, you're doing more than just feeding yourself. You're sending a message to your body that it's time to repair, restore, and reduce the inflammatory signals that have been draining your energy. This connection between food and inflammation is one of the most empowering truths in health. It shifts the narrative from helplessness to action. You don't have to rely solely on external treatments. You can participate in your own healing with the choices you make every single day. And here's something else that might surprise you. The effects of lycopene and curcumin aren't limited to the prostate. These compounds support cardiovascular health, brain function, and even skin resilience. It's all connected. But while these strategies are powerful, they aren't complete on their own. Because inflammation isn't only about what you put in, it's also about what your body struggles to eliminate. And there's a critical mistake many men make when trying to improve their health. They focus only on adding new habits without addressing what's already overwhelming their system. That's what we'll unpack next. Because if you don't remove this one factor from your routine, everything else you're doing could be slowed down or even counteracted. And in some cases, ignoring this could trigger symptoms that go far beyond prostate discomfort. Let's make sure you're not falling into that trap. Up until now, we've focused on what to add: hydration, natural fats, and nutrient-rich foods. But sometimes, the most impactful shift comes not from what you introduce, but from what you stop tolerating. It's time to talk about the mistake that silently works against all your efforts, the overlooked behaviors and exposures that keep your body in a low-grade inflammatory loop, especially in the prostate. Here's a truth that many men don't want to hear. Chronic prostate inflammation isn't always about what you're eating or drinking. It can also be about what you're not letting go of. Holding on to certain habits, ignoring symptoms, pushing through discomfort, or simply pretending everything's fine. All of this takes a toll. And your prostate, being as sensitive as it is to hormonal shifts and stress, responds accordingly. Let's take a step back. Think about how often you sit, whether it's for work, during meals, or while driving. Most men spend the majority of their day seated. And while that might not sound dangerous, prolonged sitting, especially without regular movement, reduces blood flow to the pelvic area. Over time, this stagnation can contribute to pelvic congestion, increased pressure, and yes, inflammation in the prostate. The solution isn't complicated. It's about movement. Standing up once every 30 to 60 minutes, even for just a few minutes, can restore circulation. Stretching, walking around the room, or performing light hip mobility exercises can all help flush the area with fresh blood, oxygen, and nutrients. It's a form of internal maintenance that pays dividends. Then, there's another form of pressure many don't talk about: emotional suppression. Stress doesn't just live in your mind, it lives in your body. And men, in particular, are often conditioned to internalize tension. When stress accumulates, cortisol rises, hormonal balance shifts, and the immune system becomes reactive. Chronic emotional suppression can subtly stoke the fires of systemic inflammation. Here's where awareness becomes a tool for healing. It's not about perfection, it's about noticing. When you feel the urge to ignore a symptom, override fatigue, or dismiss discomfort, pause. Ask yourself, what is my body really asking for? Often, the prostate is one of the first places this internal imbalance shows up. There's also the issue of toxins, especially those hiding in everyday items. Many common household products, from cleaning sprays to personal care items, contain endocrine disruptors. These are chemicals that interfere with hormone function. And yes, they've been linked to increased inflammation and prostate issues. Look at your deodorant, your plastic food containers, your laundry detergents. Small exposures add up. Switching to fragrance-free, paraben-free, and BPA-free alternatives might seem like a minor upgrade, but your endocrine system will thank you. And your prostate, heavily influenced by hormone regulation, will benefit in the long term. What you're doing here is clearing the noise, removing the background static so your body can focus on healing. You're creating space for the nutrients you're eating, the water you're drinking, and the rest you're getting to actually do their job. And here's the consequence of ignoring this step. Everything else you're doing might feel like it's not working. That's because your system is overwhelmed. You can't flood a blocked pipe and expect clean water to flow. You need to release the blockages, physical, emotional, and environmental, to restore balance. And that brings us to the final piece of this journey: We've explored what fuels inflammation, what calms it, and what unknowingly sustains it. But there's one last step, a deeply restorative habit that not only supports your prostate directly, but also enhances every strategy we've talked about so far. It's a bonus tip that many overlook, but when done correctly, it can dramatically amplify your results. It's simple, safe, and backed by science. And knowing how to prepare it makes all the difference. Ignore this next part, and you risk slowing down all your progress. But use it wisely, and you might just feel like your body is finally working with you, not against you. When you've been carrying silent inflammation for months, maybe even years, your body starts to adapt. It adjusts to discomfort. It normalizes fatigue. It dulls the urgency until the message becomes background noise. But that doesn't mean the damage has stopped. In fact, the longer inflammation lingers, the deeper it settles into your tissues, disrupting cellular communication, weakening immune function, and altering hormonal balance. But here's the good news. The body also remembers how to heal. When you give it the right signals, consistently and with care, it responds. And there's one signal in particular that has shown remarkable potential to calm the prostate, soothe the urinary system, and lower inflammation across the board. It's a traditional herbal combination that's been used for generations, but only recently studied for its effectiveness in supporting prostate health. Nettle root, turmeric, black pepper, and olive oil. Each of these ingredients plays a specific role, but it's their synergy that makes them powerful. Let's break it down. Nettle root is often used in traditional herbal medicine to support urinary flow and reduce inflammation in the prostate. It's rich in compounds that can help ease the tension and pressure that build up in the lower pelvic region. Turmeric brings its active compound, curcumin, known for its potent anti-inflammatory properties. When used alone, it's helpful, but when paired with black pepper, curcumin's absorption increases dramatically. And olive oil, as we've discussed before, provides the healthy fat needed to deliver these compounds deep into the body's tissues. But preparation is key. Simply mixing these ingredients together won't give you the full benefit. Here's how to do it right. Start by brewing a tea using dried nettle root. Use about 1 tablespoon per cup of water. Simmer gently for 15 to 20 minutes. Once strained, let the tea cool slightly. While still warm, but not boiling, add a 1/4 teaspoon of ground turmeric, a pinch of black pepper, and a small spoon of extra virgin olive oil. Stir well. This ensures the turmeric and black pepper activate together, and the olive oil helps transport their benefits into the body. Drink this infusion once daily, preferably in the evening, about 30 minutes before bed. Why evening? Because nighttime is when the body enters a natural repair state. Providing it with anti-inflammatory support at this time aligns with your body's rhythm, giving your prostate and urinary system the quiet support they need to recover. Some men report improvements in as little as 1 week, less urgency, deeper sleep, and a sense of internal ease. But this isn't a quick fix. It's a commitment. Like tending a garden, the real results come with consistent care. It's important to mention, always use high-quality herbs and spices. Organic sources are best, as they are free from pesticides and contaminants that could undermine the very healing you're aiming for. And as with any change, listen to your body. Pay attention to how you feel and adjust the timing or quantity if needed. By this point, you've made key changes. You've reduced inflammatory foods, improved hydration, balanced your routine, and learned how to prepare foods that nourish your prostate. You've released hidden stressors and cleaned up your internal environment. Now, with this herbal protocol, you're giving your body the final nudge it needs to reset, rebalance, and begin healing from the inside out. That's what makes this so powerful. It's not about a single magic cure. It's about a system, a way of living that supports your prostate naturally, respectfully, and sustainably. So here's what I encourage you to do. Don't keep this knowledge to yourself. Share it. Talk about it with the men in your life who might be quietly struggling. Normalize the conversation around prostate health, because the more we learn, the more we empower. If this message resonated with you, if even one of these changes made you feel more connected to your body, then pass it on. Like the compounds in this herbal blend, we're stronger when we work together. Your health is not just something to manage, it's something to honor, and the small daily choices you make can turn into the momentum that transforms your life.